Welcome to the Unsolved. Today's unsolved mystery, the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. These murders occurred during the spring of 1946 in the Twin Cities of Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. These killings would lead to a movie about the events titled The Town That Dreaded Sundown in 1976 and a reboot in 2014. The killer had been given the nicknames of the Moonlight Murderer, the Phantom Killer, and the Phantom Slayer. The killer is still unidentified to this very day. The first reported attack of the Phantom Killer occurred on February 22nd, 1946. 25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend, 19-year-old Mary Jean Lowry, parked on a secluded road known as Lover's Lane after going to see a movie together. A man wearing a white cloth mask with eye holes cut out and handling a flashlight approached their vehicle by the driver's side and ordered them both out of the car. Then he ordered Jimmy to take off his pants and pistol whipped him twice, rendering him unconscious. Mary was also hit and was then ordered by the assailant to start running up the road. After reaching an old car parked off the road, she was again confronted by her attacker, who strangely enough asked her why she was running, to which she replied, "You ordered me to." Calling her a liar, the masked man knocked her out. Shortly after Mary woke up and fled on foot, she was eventually able to call the police. And while Jimmy was regaining consciousness, he was seen by a passerby, who helped him and also contacted police. Bowie County Sheriff W.H. Presley and 3 other officers arrived on the scene. They found Jimmy's pants 100 yards away from the parked car. Later on, both Jimmy and Mary gave contradicting statements regarding their attacker's looks, with Jimmy claiming he was a white man in his 30s and Lowry describing the man as being a light-skinned African-American, and added a detail: the mask that covered his face also had a mouth hole. Almost a month later, on March 24th, the first double murder occurred. 29-year-old Richard L. Griffin and his girlfriend, 17-year-old Polly Ann Moore, were found dead in Griffin's sedan between 8:30 and 9 a.m. by a passing motorist. The car was found on another Lover's Lane, known as Rich Road. Rich Road is close to a local bar named Club Dallas. They were both shot once in the head while outside the car, then placed back inside. A .32 caliber cartridge was found, possibly shot from a Colt. The police launched a citywide investigation along with other sheriff's departments in the vicinity and the FBI. The authorities interviewed around 50 to 60 witnesses and posted a reward in an effort to gain new information on the case, which in turn produced more than 100 false leads. Then on April 14th, another double murder occurred. The victims were 15-year-old Betty Jo Booker and her friend, 16-year-old Paul Martin. They were both found within 3 miles of Martin's Ford Coupe, which was still parked outside Spring Lake Park with the key still in it. Paul's body, found around 6:30 a.m., was lying by the northern edge of North Park Road. He was shot 4 times, once through his nose, once through his rib, the 3rd time through his right hand, and one in the back of his neck. Betty, who was found 5 hours later, was lying behind a tree with her right hand inside of her pocket. She was shot twice, once through the chest and once through the face. The weapon used was the same as the first double murder, a .32 caliber pistol. Sheriff Presley and Texas Ranger Captain Emmanuel Gonzalez said that the examinations of the body said they put up a struggle. A reward was again posted by the authorities, and rumors circulated regarding the apprehension of the murderer, which was later denied by Captain Gonzalez. This further attack made the press nickname the murderer as the Phantom Killer. Then on May 3rd, sometime before 9 p.m., 37-year-old Virgil Starks, a farmer and welder, and his wife, 36-year-old Katie Starks, were attacked in their house. Virgil was shot dead from a closed window while reading a copy of the Texarkana Gazette. Katie was shot twice from the same window while trying to contact the police after witnessing her husband's death. As the killer was approaching her, she ran to the neighbor's house and was brought to Michael Meager Hospital. Mrs. Stark survived the attack, and while in the operating room of the hospital, she was questioned on the event by Miller County Sheriff W.E. Davis. A flashlight without fingerprints was left by the killer underneath the window that Mr. Stark was shot from. Although the weapon in the case was believed to be a .22 caliber automatic rifle, the absence of an apparent motive led the investigators to link even this murder to the Phantom Killer. As the peak of the town's hysteria was reached, inquiries were implemented, rewards were increased, and new ones were posted by the authorities and by the father of Virgil Stark, By November 1948, authorities no longer considered the Stark murder connected with the other double murders. The panic caused by the murder lasted throughout the summer, eventually fading away 3 months later. The Texas Rangers left Texarkana in October without letting anyone know, in order to keep the killer from attempting another attack. In May of 1946, a man was found on the Kansas City Southern Railway tracks north of Texarkana, near Ogden, Arkansas, laying face down. It was later discovered the man was allegedly killed with a sharp object before being placed on the tracks. Earl McSpadden was widely believed to either have been the phantom who finally committed suicide or the final victim. No other crime that occurred in Texarkana was ever linked to the phantom killer. So what are y'all's thoughts on this? Was it a crazy man on the loose? A serial killer? Or just a few random killings from different people that got turned into a phantom killer? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for stopping by The Unsolved. And until next time, keep on keeping on.